Hi guys, this is Claire from StudentRDH. So today I just wanted to talk about the schedule of the examination because I just did a webinar with our students who are going to take the examination soon, and I noticed that there's a lot of confusion about what the new time schedule looks like, because it used to be session 1 and session 2, and that has changed. Now it's 1-1, 1-2, 2-1, and 2-2. And I actually received an email recently from a student that says she really did not understand how the schedule worked. So let me try to help you today, okay? See if you have any questions. If you do, and if you are not here on live, but you listen to this later, it is okay. You can always just put a thread and I can help you, and I'm sure other students can help you. So if you like this topic, just please give me a thumbs up here, some hearts, anything you can, so I know that you are listening and that you are understanding the concepts. Now, before I start going into the exam schedule, anybody has a question yet? If you do, you know you can always use the thread function, okay? So I'm just gonna put right here, questions. Okay. So I am doing this with my computer over here. Alexandra, thank you so much for giving me the thumbs up. Now let's try this. Do you see the screen? The problem is that, let me know if you are seeing the screen like inverted right to left, or if you can see this correctly. Because if you're not, you know, I will come up with other solutions. But for now, let's just see what we can do over here. So I'm going to start with the first section. So here, as you can see, is the optional tutorial. So I'm just going to put down my phone. It is actually just against my mug, and I'm just going to be behind this screen, okay? You can still see me. The important thing is not me, it is you and the schedule. And thank you, Zahedeh, for saying hi. And Alexandra saying it is backward. Now, anybody know a function how I can flip the screen from right to left? I know there was a function before that I used. Thank you, Emma. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue right now, you know, because we started already. However, if you have questions, you can always ask me. And I'm just going to make another follow-up video, making sure that my video is, you know, flip right to left, so you're not confused. But let me start with 1-1. So this, I'm actually just going to flip the screen, and you will able to see the screen as you should. Does that make it better? I think you will see the screen now the way it should be. I think we have a solution here. Okay, let's start. You get to the examination. This is for the NBDHE, the American exam. You start with an optional tutorial. Now what it is, it's just 15 minutes. I tell you, hey, this is how you choose your answers. This is how you submit it. Really, it's important because you just want to make sure you understand how the computer works. So please take the 15 minutes, just a little warm up. Okay, now let's continue. Thank you, Zayed, for the awesome encouragement. Now let's jump into session 1 and session 2. Now, anybody knows what session 1 is and session 2 is? If you do, you can raise your hand. If you don't, you can say, you know, I don't know yet. Part of it is I would love to start a conversation so you get all your answers. And for those of you who are just joining right now, my name is Claire. I am the founder of StudentRDH, and we are going through the exam format, the schedule of the day. Now, session 1 is what's called the simple question. So you get, for example, or pathology, and say, hey, who is most likely to get, you know, or candidiasis, what population, or what are the fifth cranial nerve, things like that are for session 1. It's called basic science. Now, session 2 is all about the case studies. You will see a case with patient photograph, radiograph, profile, and history, and you will just choose 4. So those are in 4 tabs. You will choose one answer according to what you see in the case study. So overall, we cover what session 1 is and what session 2 is. Now, session 1 used to be one whole entire block. Now it's divided into 2 portions, okay? So it's important to understand that there's 100 questions in session 1-1, okay? Another set of 100 questions in 1-2. And hi, Janice, thank you for being here. Dr. Moriarty. I'm sure that does not apply to you because those are for dental hygiene students, but if anybody is taking the dental hygiene board exams, I know you can tell them to go to StudentRDH. All right, let me continue. 1-1 has 100 questions. So again, head and neck anatomy, dental anatomy, things like that. You have an hour, 45 minutes to complete 100 questions. Okay, so 100 questions, an hour 45. You will have a timer in your computer screen, and it's going to be a countdown timer. Thank you, Zay, for saying you're going to take it in March. All right, so 100 questions. Now, I don't know if you have a question about this, but students ask me all the time, after the 100 questions, can I jump into the next session? Yes, you can, but you have an optional 15-minute break, meaning, first of all, that you have to submit the 100 questions. You cannot continue. You have to submit. Even though, let's say you took only 1 hour out of the 1 hour, 45 minutes to complete session 1-1, you will have to submit. This is not like your roaming plan or your cell phone data plan. You cannot roll over, okay? You just have to submit it and that's it. So I think I made that clear. You have to submit it. No going back there. When you do 1-2, you cannot go back to your first 100 questions. Okay, you are done with the 100 questions within an hour 45 submitted, no turning back. Then you have a 15-minute break. And this is an optional break, meaning you can just say, hey, I just want to continue, and you continue to the next 100 items, or you can have your 15-minute break. Now, during that 15-minute, you can go stretch your legs, you can just use the bathroom, whatever you want to do. And it's important to actually use this break if you were going to the restroom, because this is an official break, meaning you are not going to be discounted. So if you were going to take your break within the 100 items, in question 50, you said, oh my God, I need to go to the restroom, then the countdown keeps going. You cannot pause. There's no pause option at all in the examination. And then, but if you go to the optional break, this is a specific chunk of time for the break. Therefore, if you come back after 5 minutes after you pee break, you're not penalized at all. This is your break. I hope this is clear. What I want to emphasize here is that there's no pause in between the when you are in the questions. Of course, 3 minutes will not make or break your examination, most likely. However, I would prefer if all the students could use the 15-minute optional break versus taking a break in the session. All right, so 1-1, 100 questions, maybe you took your break. 1-2, 100 questions, you submit it. Now you have another break. Okay, Ravine, thank you for giving me the thumbs up. All right, let's continue. Optional 30-minute break, meaning, again, you can go, this is kind of a lunch break, but you don't have to eat too heavy. Actually, we don't want to eat too much because we are starting to feel sleepy afterwards. But take it, go get some water. Our brain needs water and food in order to function properly. Maybe some caffeine. We do not want a caffeine overload though, however, because if you do so, there's a caffeine crash coming afterwards. And you cannot have that within your patient case study session. So get your break, refresh, and come back. Now you start session 2-1. There are 75 items and it's 2 hours. Why is it longer than session 1? Because case studies are pretty extensive. You will see patients having a lot of medical conditions, a lot of medications, complications, and all the things. And you have to click on the different tabs in order to see the cases. Therefore, you will need a lot of time. That's why, as you can see, less items, but more time. Let's say after 75 items, however much you took, 1 hour, let's say, you submit it, and then you can take your break. Then you can continue. You cannot go back to the previous questions, okay? You continue, and then you take your post-examination survey. It's mostly, asking, hey, what did you think about the examination? Okay, it's optional. You don't really have to do it. But for example, you can say, hey, the radiographs were really not clear, or you gave us too little time. So those are the things you can say. And in total, that would give you, a little less than 9 hours. But what I really want to emphasize here is, again, there is no pause in between when you are in the questions. You have to submit the first 100 and then 100, 75 and then 75. You cannot go back to the questions. All right, and then the time does not roll over. Does anybody have a question right now? You can put it on the chat because I can see everything that is going on. You guys are fantastic right now. You are an excellent audience, and I really just appreciate you being on this little live. Make sure that you tell your friends, just to check out the new format. This is what I did with our StudentRDH webinar. However, all this information is available at StudentRDH.com inside the NBDHE. So I just try to provide a lot of information about how to register and what the exam looks like. And there's also a free trial. All right, so if you do not have more questions about how does the exam day look like, I would like to close with saying that students have found this very, very confusing. As you can see, 100 items an hour 45, 100 items an hour 5, 75 items 2 hours. I mean, the numbers are confusing. I wish it was 100 items 1 hour, 200 items 2 hours, something very simple. However, this is not a simple chart. So what I would advise you to do is, when you go to the examination, you will be given some sort of, you can ask for a laminated sheet of paper. Okay, this is not a sheet, but something that looks like this. It's laminated, and you will have a marker. Okay, this is not a marker, but just an idea. Let's say this is a marker, and you can write down things on your pad. You cannot erase what you wrote on it. They just want to make sure that you're not cheating. But what you can write down is that at the very beginning, when they give you the breakdown of all the entire day, just write it down on your piece of board or paper. It's not really a paper because, again, it's a laminated sheet of paper, but I want you to just go and write down everything exactly like I did. 100 items an hour 45, the next item, so that you understand. You can go back to the schedule just in case you were confused. And what I did, this is just a quick example of what I wrote for myself, for my students at StudentRDH. So it's just very simple. Obviously the squiggly things, those areas meaning break. So 15-minute, 30-minute, and then 15-minute break. And then I put the time. The other thing that I should have put here, for example, if it was 2 hours, I should have said there are 75 questions and 100 questions. So I hope this all makes sense for you guys. I just wanted to talk about this right now because I realized, because of this new change that happened in 2018, students who were getting advice from seniors or faculties who did not know the update were very confused because they probably studied with a format that gave them the old breakdown, which is with one big chunk of 3.5 hours, and this one, which is 4 hours, another chunk. Of course, at StudentRDH, we have done the work for you, and we have broken down all the components just like you see on the real examination with the correct time, so you can practice that. If you have questions, my name is Claire J at StudentRDH.com. You can always email me there, and also just follow the chat here. And what we have at StudentRDH is a great community of students who also have done their examination. So I am sure they have some great advice for you. Just flip the screen again. So this is me again. This is my office. And I just wanted to make sure that you get all the information you need. Again, StudentRDH.com is a place to go. And I am not afraid just to of answering you via email or even get on a phone call. Wednesday, usually I reserve that for our students and faculty to contact me just in case they had questions. So I hope this is really clear now. If you find this information useful, please repeat it to your friend. I would really want everybody to be updated on this so you do not go to the examination not knowing the schedule. And just in case, again, you do not know the schedule or you were confused at the beginning of the day in the examination center, write it down. There's no penalty to get it as many sheets as possible, okay? Just ask them, one by one, I say, I need 10 sheets. If that's you, go ahead. They should not penalize you for that. Okay, so I hope this was useful. And I hope you can just give me a thumbs up if you find this useful. Or, if you had questions, again, the chat is there. I will be available again on more Facebook Live so we can talk about other things. And thank you for this. I see those guys coming. I hope you guys all great day if you are in the West Coast. It is about 6:30 right now. And if you're on the East Coast, I know it's really late, so I really appreciate you guys for being here. Okay, so spread the word to your friends and I wish you the best. Thank you.